Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day. Welcome back to Naval Architecture and Shipbuilding MOOC lecture. My name is Dr. Anuar Bakar, and topic for this session is the Ship Classification Society. For the session learning objective, at the end of the session, hopefully you all will able to first identify the role and responsibility of classification society. Second, discuss type of classification survey. And third, determine classification society and statutory requirement for shipbuilding and offshore structure. Before we go further, at least we should know what is classification society. A classification society is a non-governmental organization that establish and maintain technical standard for the construction and operation of ship and offshore structure. Also to validate new construction in according to set of standard and carry out regular survey in service to ensure the ship always compliant with the standard. The purpose of classification society is to provide classification and statutory service and assistance to the maritime industry and regulatory bodies as regard maritime industry and pollution prevention based on the accumulation of maritime knowledge and technologies. The vast majority of commercial ships are built and surveyed for compliance with the standard laid down by classification society. The standards are issued by the society as published rule. However, classification society are not guarantor of safety of life or property at sea or the seaworthiness of a vessel, because the classification of a vessel is based on the understanding that the vessel is loaded, operated, and maintained in proper manner by competent and qualified personnel. The society has no control over how a vessel is operated and maintained between the survey it conducts. Classification provides service and assurance that international standards have been met to government authority, ship owner, builder, insurer, and charterer. The rule published by classification society together with the requirements set by International Maritime Organization, which is IMO, and the maritime legislation of the flag state form a comprehensive and coherent set of standards for design, construction, and maintenance in operation of ship. These are clearly defined that the classification implement of a standard for strength, propelling machinery, electrical system, control system, and anchoring equipment. In 1948, the United Nations held the Geneva Conference, which led to the establishment of Intergovernmental Maritime Consultative Organization. The organization later changed its name to International Maritime Organization, which is IMO, to draw up the blueprint for an international organization that would develop standards for shipping, for adoption and universal implementation throughout the entire industry. In 1959, International Maritime Organization began business. Over time, it widened its concern to assume responsibility for all pollution-related matters, maritime search, as well as rescues and tonnage regulation. It was recognized at the first assembly that IMO initial task was to establish a comprehensive body of convention and other treaty instruments relating to maritime safety and pollution prevention. This task involved updating a number of existing treaties by International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, which is SOLAS, and it had always been intended IMO would take over responsibility for it when the organization come into being. IMO also accepted responsibility regarding the international regulation for preventing collision at sea, the International Code of Signal, and the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution of the Sea by Oil, which was adopted in 1954. In 1914, maritime states developed the first global safety agreement for shipping, the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, which was signed by 13 countries on 20 January 1914. It took into account many of these lessons learned from the Titanic disaster, but more than that, it laid down international applicable rules for the first time. SOLAS mainly focused on fire and life-saving, communication, damage stability, propelling machinery, electrical and control system. In 1930, the first International Convention on Load Line adopted and was based on the principle of reverse buoyancy, although it was recognized that the freeboard should also ensure adequate stability and avoid excessive stress on the ship hull as a result of overloading. It has long been recognized that limitation on the draft to which a ship may be loaded make a significant contribution to her safety. These limits are given in the form of freeboard, which constitute, beside external weather and watertight integrity, the main objective of the convention. In 1966, Load Line Convention adopted by IMO, provisions are made determine the freeboard of ship by subdivision and damage stability calculation. The regulation takes into account the potential hazard present in different zones and different seasons. The technical annex contains several additional safety measures concerning door, freeing port, hatchway, and other items. The main purpose of this measure is to ensure the watertight integrity of ship hull below the freeboard decks. All assigned load lines must be marked at midship on each side of the ship together with the deck line. Ships intended for the carriage of timber deck cargo are assigned a smaller freeboard, as the deck cargo provides protection against the impact of wave. Load line mainly focus on intact stability and damage stability. MAPOL 733 and 78 is one of the most important international marine environmental conventions. It was developed by the IMO in an effort to minimize pollution of the ocean and seas, including dumping, oil, and air pollution. The objective of this convention is to preserve the marine environment in an attempt to completely eliminate pollution by oil and other harmful substances, and to minimize accidental spillage of such substance. MAPOL mostly focus on accidental, operational, and damage stability. Mainly, surveys are classified under two categories, which are classification survey and statutory survey. The difference between the classification survey and statutory survey, which is classification survey on behalf of society, statutory survey on behalf of a flag administration. What do the classification rule and regulation not cover? Stability, life-saving appliance, navigational equipment, pollution prevention, structural fire protection, then load line. Why not? Because the requirements for all these above are contained in international accepted statutory code and convention, unless delegated by administration or flag state. SOLAS and other international conventions permit the flag administration to delegate the inspection and survey of ship to a recognized organization, which is a RO. This is recognition of the fact that many flag administration do not have adequate technical experience, manpower, or global coverage to undertake all the necessary statutory inspection and survey using its own staff. Type of statutory certification that can be delegated to classification society, such as International Tonnage Certificate, International Load Line Certificate, Cargo Ship Safety Construction Certificate, Cargo Ship Safety Equipment Certificate, Cargo Ship Safety Radio Certificate, International Safety Management Code, International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, International Convention on the Control of Harmful Anti-Fouling System on Ship. Manning level and competency always remain with the flag state and not delegated to any classification. International Association of Classification Society, which is IACS, can trace its origin back to the International Load Line Convention of 1930 and its recommendation. The convention recommended collaboration between classification society to secure as much uniformity as possible in the application of the standard of strength upon which freeboard is based. IACS consists of 12 members society. Chairman of IACS is on rotational basis, with each member society taking a turn. The IACS members are American Bureau of Shipping, Bureau Veritas, China Classification Society, Croatian Register of Shipping, Diagnos Veritas Germanische, Lloyd, Indian Register of Shipping, Korean Register of Shipping, Lloyd Register, Nippon Kaiji Kyokai, Poly Register of Shipping, Register of Russia Shipping. In general, the classification survey are divided into several categories, which are initial survey, a complete inspection of all the items concerning the particular certificate before the ship is put into service to make sure they possess satisfactory condition and are capable of carrying out the service for which the ship is intended. Periodical survey and official examination of the item relating to the particular certificate to ensure that they are meeting the requirement and are fit for the intended service. Renewal survey, as similar as the periodical survey, but consequently result is issuing a new certificate. Intermediate survey, which is the inspection of specified item. Annual survey, general reviewing the item concerned the particular certificate to ascertain the fact that they have been observed, maintained, and remain it for service for which the ship is designated. Additional survey, inspection according to the circumstances made after the repair resulting from casualty probe or whenever there is an important repair. Implementing the published rule, the classification process consists of a technical review of the design plan, related document for a new vessel to verify compliance with the applicable rule. Attendance at the construction of the vessel in the shipyard by a classification society surveyor to verify that the vessel is constructed in accordance with the approved design plan and classification rule. Attended by a classification society surveyor at the relevant production facility that provide key components such as steel, engine generator, and casting to verify that the component conform to the applicable rule requirement. Attended by a classification society surveyor at the sea trial and other trial relating to the vessel and equipment prior to delivery to verify conformance with the applicable rule requirement. Upon satisfactory completion of the above, the builder ship owner request for the issuance of the class certificate will be considered by the relevant classification society. It deems satisfactory, the assignment of class may be approved and certificate of classification issued. Once in service, the owner must submit the vessel to a clearly specified program of periodical class survey carried out on board the vessel to verify that the ship continues to meet the relevant rule requirement for continuation of class. For new construction, survey during the new construction, as can be seen in the chart, new construction classification is an extensive process with survey that cover every stage of ship construction. For example, the classification starts to involve when the contract is signed between ship owner or shipbuilder with classification society. After that, shipbuilder need to submit long list of ship design documents for plan approval, and the ship plan must be approved by the technical staff at head office of ship classification society before new construction begin. Once construction of the ship has begun, the ship classification society surveyor will certify that all material, component, and fitting and been properly approved and conduct regular survey during the construction process, such as inspection on block and block joint inspection, tank and hull final inspection, shaft alignment, rudder beading century, and stern tube sealing, device inspection, propeller and rudder fitting, keel sighting, and measurement of principal dimension, freeboard inspection, and launching. After launching and outfitting, some necessary inspections such as equipment survey, tank and relic test was approved, and when all survey from plan approval through the ship, CITRA have been performed, the new construction classification process is complete. When a ship has been surveyed to the satisfaction of the surveyor, the classification of the ship is reviewed by the classification committee. If approved, a certificate of classification or installation registration is issued and the ship is entered into the class registration of ship. Such registration by the society ensure that the ship is recognized by Port and Flag Administration around the world, as well as underwritten the world over, including the Institute of London underwriter. Upon completion registration and classification with the society, ships are provided with classification certificate valid for 5 years. Ship in service. The cycle of classification survey is in duration of 5 years. In order to ensure that the ship class with the society are maintained and operated in accordance with the society rules, this vessel must undergo both periodic and occasional survey and necessary as condition of maintaining their certification. A brief description of each of required type of survey, such as special survey. Ship wishing to renew their classification certificate and maintain their registration must undergo a special survey within 5 years of the ship anniversary date. Special survey take the place of the 5th annual survey and are the most comprehensive classification survey covering almost all areas of the ship. Vessel which successfully undergo a special survey will have the certification renewed for additional for 5 years. The special survey must be carried out within 3 months period prior to the ship 5th anniversary. Annual survey. Ship is a service must undergo an annual survey of the hull structure and important machinery and equipment each year. Annual survey must be carried out within a 6-month survey period within the 3-month period either side the ship anniversary date. Intermediate survey. In addition to annual survey, the ship must undergo a more comprehensive intermediate survey between its 2nd and 3rd year of service. Intermediate survey are conducted in place of either the 2nd or 3rd annual survey. Docking survey. In order to ascertain the condition of the bottom of the vessel, a ship class with society must undergo a docking survey in dry dock every 36 months. While the time and location of the docking survey are at the discretion of the owner and operator. A docking survey is generally conducted at the same time as a special survey or intermediate survey. Those ships which meet certain requirements may undergo an in-water survey in lieu of docking survey in dry docks. Occasional survey. In addition to periodic survey, ships must also undergo occasional survey when they are damaged, as well as when they are undergo repair or conversion. In the event that the vessel suffer damage, for example, an occasional survey must be carried out to determine the extent of the damage and least effect of safety and seaworthiness. When the vessel is repaired, it must then be surveyed to ensure that the repair have been correctly carried out. Transfer of class. Ship which has been constructed and registered in compliance with the rule of other IACS class, society and main register will other transfer class agreement and undergoing a survey by a respective of the surveyor. Corruption has appeared throughout the land and the sea by reason of what the hand of the people have earned, so he may let them taste part of the consequences of what they have done, that perhaps they will return to the rightness. Aram verses 41. Thank you very much.